Olá, estamos aqui no SBU in situ, em Chicago, durante a AUA 2023, e eu tive a honra de estar junto com o professor Daniel Petrylak, que é professor de medicina, de urologia da Yale University, uma das grandes referências em uro-oncologia. Nós moderamos a sessão de câncer de próstata avançado e eu vou pedir para o Dr. Daniel Petrylak elencar aqui os highlights dessa sessão, o que de melhor foi apresentado nos estudos. Dr. Petrylak, thank you very much for being here with us. It's a pleasure to have you here with the SBU-SP. And I want to ask you, we've just moderated the Advanced Prostate Cancer session. What do you think about it? We had studies from all around the world, and some very nice things were presented. What were your highlights?
So I think there were several highlights from this session. One that I was particularly excited about looked at androgen receptor variants in the laboratory. As we know, the AKR1C3 variant is one of the most common variants in castration-resistant prostate cancer, along with ARV7, and these may be driving resistance to drugs such as enzalutamide and abiraterone. So what was done was this trial actually looked at the it wasn't a trial, it was actually an in vitro study trying to look at a fusion molecule that targeted both variants of the androgen receptor. We know that the AKR13C variant is inhibited by nicotinamide variants, and basically developed dual molecule that targeted both these particular androgen receptor mutations. And they found in the laboratory, as well as in xenograft models, that these variants, this particular dual inhibitor was effective against these variants, and also seem to synergize with other anti-androgens such as abiraterone, enzalutamide, darolutamide. So I think this is a promising area for us to further extend androgen deprivation therapy in those patients who classically have been considered to be resistant.
Perfect. Maybe some hope for patients that fail these new hormonal agents, right? And anything else that you want to highlight for us? Any other project, any other presentation that got your attention?
Well, two other presentations from the session which I'd like to highlight. One looked at testosterone recovery after androgen deprivation therapy. And the study was limited by the fact that they couldn't really follow these patients out for more than 1 year. They also didn't have pre-treatment testosterone levels for most of the patients on this trial, because it wasn't felt to be standard of care in certain situations. But nonetheless, about a quarter of patients recovered their testosterone within that year period of time. That doesn't look at those patients who may have delayed recovery from testosterone in those patients treated with androgen deprivation therapy. And another question which also occurs in the United States, was I think is the rest of the world, is the dose intensification of androgen deprivation therapy in patients who are metastatic and receiving ADT for the first time. And what's consistently been found is about 10% of patients refuse intensification with drugs such as docetaxel, abiraterone, enzalutamide, and over time, what was found is that more patients accepted dose intensification. In fact, I think 2020 was the last year that they looked at this data, but they found that about 50% of patients accepted dose intensification, and that was predominantly due to those patients who were now accepting novel hormonal agents rather than an increase in docetaxel, which seemed to be consistent about at 15% during that period. So important for us to know why that 50% still did not accept intensification, whether it was cost or other reasons. But I think, again, very, very intriguing data.
Thank you very much, Dr. Petrylak. Again, it was a pleasure to be with you.
Likewise, enjoyed moderating the session with you.
Yeah, it was a great pleasure, a great honor, and I hope you can come to Brazil soon to be with us in the Brazilian Society of Urology.
I enjoy coming every time. Believe me, I'd like to go visit again.
Thank you very much. Nos vemos então daqui a pouco com outras entrevistas aqui do SBU in situ. Até mais.